The moment a narcissist realizes that you actually know more than them, you actually know more than what they thought you knew, this is when you officially become their biggest enemy. This is when you officially become somebody they really despise. This is when their game gets dirtier. This is when maybe they really start panicking and plot to run and flip the script, take some more control of the narrative and lie about what happened, what's happening, and what's going to happen. When you figured it out, it made them fumble even more. When you figured it out, they were so triggered, they couldn't help but to teach you that they'd been wearing a mask the whole time. They started to expose everything. When you figured things out, when you showed how smart you were, how smart you always were, or how smart you finally became, because your wisdom and your intelligence is linked to some strength. When they noticed that you were actually strong and not stupid, this is when they got scared. This is when they really had to come up with a plan to make sure that everyone looks at you crazy. Make sure there's a backup burner supply somewhere where they can go lay up next to, get with ASAP. This is when they had to immediately turn your children against you. Parental alienation, that energy went up because you turned out to be smart. Welcome, guys. This is your girl, MamiSoTrue. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. It's so good to see you back. If you're new, please take a moment, subscribe, hit the subscription button down there, and make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button, like the video, and don't forget, before you leave, share your thought in the comment section below. If you're looking to book life coaching sessions with me, reach me, follow me on other platforms, maybe purchase some of MamiSoTrue's merchandise. Make sure you check out the description box below for all further details. Now let's get back into this juicy video. Poor narcissist. It turns out they're not smart. Or maybe they can be so smart that they're actually really dumb. See, narcissists are actually not smart, guys. What they define as smart and what comes off as smart with a narcissist, it's deception. They're not smart. They deceive. They're good at deceiving. They're clever at strategizing their targets and their victims and how they're going to live life with them. They know how to pick you because they need to use you. You are the perfect one for their fantasy. You fit what they want everyone to see. And so they work hard to convince you. And they convince you really through devaluation. This is the worst gaslighting method, the worst manipulation tactic that they have is devaluing you. You have probably heard from a narcissistic abuser in your life tell you flat out, I'm smarter than you. I'm better than you. They'll even say that. I got this, I got that. I mean, they're constantly bragging about what they have over you. And typically it's about their smartness. They'll brag about degrees, they'll brag about certifications, they'll brag about achievements, they'll brag about what they have versus what you don't have. It's always about them being better than you. It's always about putting you down, making you feel like the school you went to wasn't enough. The job you have isn't enough. The achievements you've achieved aren't enough. They don't amount to what the narcissist has because the narcissist is superior over you. She's better than you. He's better than you. You are supposed to feel blessed to be with her. You're supposed to feel blessed to have that man. So you get devalued and gaslit to believe that you fall short. That you don't have enough worth. Your value ain't hidden. They devalue you enough for you to believe that you deserve how they treat you, how they talk to you, the things that they do to you. You see, this is why they're stupid though. Because in most scenarios, people don't know they're dealing with a narcissist. And all that devaluation, it'll put you down, make you feel sad, but it'll also make you look within. And it'll also make you look deeper at the situation that you're in. It'll start making you pay more attention to them. Then after a while, all of that love bombing, all of that sweetness and calmness, it starts to fade. The mask starts to slip. You start to feel how unsettling it is to be with them, to conversate with them, to even catch them and stuff, and to even hear them confess about their past. You see, God is so good. The narcissist always gives their self up. The narcissist can only pretend for so long. They're smart enough to trick you and pull you in, but they're not smart enough to keep you there. Because eventually they start to lose control. They start to say too much, not say enough. They start to say things that have you second guessing the whole situation. Why is it such a hard thing to tell you I love you or miss you? You start to notice that it's difficult for them to profess love to you genuinely. They struggle with intimacy. All the little things you used to overlook, now you're looking at it with a magnifying glass. And you start to take notes. And eventually, they start to overplay their hand. They're unable to keep up with lies. They're unable to not slip up and confess their traumas, their childhood. How many of you can say that narcissist broke down and told me how evil their trauma was? And when that evil finally came out, you started to feel different. You started to see things different. They didn't mean to really tell you about what they really went through. That was the biggest mistake. Because once that happened, everything started to spiral out of control. Once the confessions get told and the tears get dropped with that narcissist, you start to reflect. See, they were hoping for pity. They were hoping their story would keep you stuck. You would just feel sorry for them and, just really understand why they are how they are and why they're going through what they're going through because they've been so hurt. They thought you were going to be that. They thought you were going to hear what happened to them and really understand how broken they are. And you're such an empath that you're going to take them in and, pat them on their bald baby head regardless. Oh, it's okay. It's all right, boo. I got you. I love you. I ain't going to never leave. We going to be in this together. I'm going to help you heal. I love you. We going to pray. We going to go to church. They thought wrong. Because one day you matched their actions with their traumas. One day you connected the wickedness with their family, where they came from. One day you were like, you know what? I cannot deny what I'm watching. This person is obsessed with their mom. They're obsessed with their dad. They're obsessed with their family, but their family is broken. I mean, is it love? Is it hate? What's going on here? What they didn't know was you being so loving, kind, and full of empathy, it forced them to confess their sins. It forced them to confess their true self to you. But because they were narcissists, them telling you, they thought they were telling you to get you to feel sorry or conform in some type of way to them or be understanding. But telling you what they tell you ends up teaching you what you now know. Oh, your daddy created a narcissistic female. Oh, your mama created a narcissist. Oh, your brokenness is beyond repair. Oh, I need to pack my bags and go. I need to cut you off. I need to run for my life. That's what I need to do. See, they weren't smart enough to know that that's what it would be when they mistakenly opened their mouth, when they falsely cried those fake tears to you. You go from feeling sorry for them. Oh my God, that's so evil. I can't believe you went through that as a child. I am so sorry. I feel sorry for you. That's why you're so messed up. You go from that to connecting it to how really evil their traumas have made them, and how they've used their traumas to exploit your life. Because of what they went through, they pulled you in to make up for their shortcomings, to fill a void of their deep insecurities. Really, ultimately, to use you as a punching bag, to feel good when they don't feel so good, and they never feel good. They're in constant turmoil. They're in constant internal conflict. They're in constant shame. They're always self-loathing. They're extremely depressed. They're stuck in a perpetual state of no growth. What you used to make excuses for, you can't even do it anymore, because the truth hits you so hard when you start paying attention to the person inside, the person behind her cute little wigs and makeup. When you start to really look into her life, his life, and you connected the dots. When you started to really see that, okay, this person is cruel because evil lives in their heart. It has nothing to do with them just going through a hard time growing up. They are stuck in that pain and they don't know what to do except abuse everybody, except be this big broken baby in the world. They expect everyone to worship the ground they walk on. They expect everyone to bow down and fully submit to them. You've become their biggest enemy because they foolishly tricked themselves into believing that you were going to forever fall for the illusions and the facade. They are dumbfounded and pissed off because you ripped their mask off. They've never been so triggered in their life with the truth that you figured out. See, they thought they had you fooled because they had that mask on very heavy for a long time, maybe for years, because narcissists can appear healthy for a very long time. You do not know it's a narcissist until they have finally been triggered. And one of the biggest triggers is the truth. One of the biggest triggers that knocks that mask off is when you discover the truth, when you see that this person is cold because they're wicked. When you see that this person is just trying to compete and break you down because deep down inside, they're dead and empty. This person they don't actually believe that they are somebody. They want you to convince yourself that they are somebody, so you can continue to give them praise, feed into their ego, make them feel like the king and the queen that they believe they are, even though they're not. When you figure out the truth is that they don't have anything to truly offer, that they really just mirrored you, that they played it safe. They played it safe. They kept it, they kept it as safe as they could until they couldn't hide it. You became their worst enemy when you figured out how fake they were. You figured it out. And now there was nothing to be devalued about. How you gonna call me stupid when really you're the stupid one here? You're the real definition of dumb. When you start to let the narcissist know that you're on to their game, you're on to their stupidity. Matter of fact, you see it. You will never compliment them again. You'll never shed tears because they want to make you feel bad about yourself again. This type of strength is very, very crushing. It makes them feel extremely irrelevant, defeated, and completely loss of power, complete loss of control. The one thing that they were after, to have control over your mind, body, and soul. The moment they found out that that was not it, you became their biggest enemy. You became the worst nightmare. You reminded them of how dark their life really is. You reminded them of how stuck they are, and they hate you for that. So they're going to probably die mad. They're probably going to die trying to seek revenge. They're probably going to work so hard to get everybody to hate you now, because they can't believe that you triggered them enough to make their mask slip the way that it has. They can't fake it with you anymore. They can't try to destroy you with words anymore. You know exactly what they are. You know that they were trying to be like you the whole time. You figured it out. You weren't the problem, it was them. Their cruelty showed you that it wasn't you. And when you started to back off, back out, disconnect, when you packed up and left, when you finally said you were done, you became an enemy. You are an enemy for life, because they lost you as a supply. They lost you as a punching bag. They can't fool you no more. Their words ain't hitting like they used to because you figured it out. You've become their worst nightmare, their biggest enemy. Everything they had you fooled about, you now laugh at them. They now appear to be the joke and the clown that they really truly have been the whole time anyway. They just didn't need you or want you to actually see that. They never wanted you to see what a fool they really are. And now you're getting the last laugh and it's pissing them off. They're irritated, narcissistically ready to have a whole heart attack because you do not agree with them anymore. You now stand firm in your beliefs, what you want, what you need. You're prioritizing your needs. You've become an enemy because it's no longer about them. She can't have her way with you anymore. She used to be able to text you stuff, call you and say anything. And now none of that's going to work. None of that is working. So you're an enemy. She literally hates you because she cannot control you. He absolutely despises you because he no longer controls you. The winner you've become is irritating to their demonic soul. They really thought they had you entrapped to the point where you would never see light again. You seeing light again left them in the darkness that they were born in. So you are an enemy now. In their mind, you're against them because you see them, the real them, not the them that they want everybody to see, not the fake preacher, not the fake church lady, not the fake leader, the real them. The one with weird addictions, funny mannerisms, the one with that stench, the one that doesn't even wash their butt behind closed doors, the one that's truly broke, the one that really doesn't have much, but a bunch of stuff they've stolen. Money, image, even identity. You know that behind all her makeup, she's extremely insecure. She doesn't feel love and she'll never feel love. You know how empty and dry that man is. You know that no one in this world could ever be blessed with their presence because their presence is evil, demonic, it's boring. You know the real them. You know who they are at home, who they're not at home. You know how they act in public. You know that they're terrible parents. You know that their children don't even like them. You know that they do not connect with nobody genuinely. You know that it's always a show. You know when they're performing. You know when they're lying. You know when they're up to no good. You've mastered their playbook. You know everything about them inside out. They thought they had you figured out, but you ended up figuring them out to a T. And really, It wasn't even a whole lot to it. Because it's wash, rinse, repeat. They've shown you the same things over and over and over. When the mask slipped, the patterns started to make sense. It makes sense why they struggled with so much. It makes sense why intimacy was so weird. It makes sense why they just could never take accountability. It was just never them. It could never be them. They'll dance around accountability until their legs fall off and still not take accountability after the legs fell off. You know the real them. You know that they'll never change. You are their worst enemy, because even though they got this new supply and this fake new life going on, they know that you know that it's fake. They know that they really cannot do anything to prove to you anything that you already don't know. You're the one who doesn't care anymore. The one who they thought cared the most. You don't care anymore. That's triggering. That's why they can't help but to show their narcissistic rage when you are around, when someone says your name. Anything that reminds them of your energy, it throws them off. You know that as fine as they appear to be, their actions in the bed is trash. They're robotic. They're careless. They have a weird smell down there. Hygiene is terrible. You know the real them. They don't have no friends. They don't have no real friends. They got a bunch of followers, a bunch of wannabes, a bunch of trying to be's, a bunch of other narcissists that they're stuck with. You know that they really are not happy. You know how miserable they really are. You know how dissatisfied they really are with their self and with life. You know the truth about them. You know that they are wearing a mask. You're the one who cannot be fooled anymore. So you are their biggest enemy. Share your thoughts below and drop a comment. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new here, and check out the description box for all further information and details on how to reach me, book coaching sessions, follow me on other platforms, or purchase MamiSoTrue merchandise. Until next time, beautiful people, keep thriving, keep growing, keep healing, keep them mad. Bye, guys.